Well, that's an important question because we don't want people to think that the only companies that we're interested in helping are Black-owned companies. That doesn't really get us where we want to go.
Is the Dream Exchange only for black and brown companies? And maybe also kind of tying in as well is why is being black owned important from your perspective?
Well, that's an important question because we don't want people to think that the only companies that we're interested in helping are Black-owned companies. That doesn't really get us where we want to go. And especially initially, because in large part, many of the companies that we want to help that need the most help are not really ready to be thrust into the marketplace, with lots of capital that they wouldn't know how to deploy because they've had so few resources from a professional standpoint to prepare themselves to take the money and to deploy it in ways that make sense and are going to be most beneficial to them. So while we're building that, there are millions of businesses that are that come in at less than 100 million in revenue. In the capital markets today, if you're not doing over $100 million in revenue, they don't really have much time for you. And, to people, and I think this is an important point to make because a lot of people, particularly Black people, think that when you start talking about these big businesses, big business for us is, 10, $15 million. I mean, you're rolling, you're rolling, you know, but when you start talking about the real capital markets and how the market direction is really a function of forces that are beyond the control, actually, of a lot of individuals. The reason, at one point, 80%, and Joe, don't kill me if I get this wrong, but some 80% of the businesses that were going to IPO or capital markets that were being paid attention were below $50 million. 80%. So we are going after small businesses. If we want to grow this, it would be really unintelligent for us not to look at the millions of small businesses who are doing less than 150 million or 100 million in revenue who need to make it to those markets.